Sure, I'm glad you asked that because it just so happens that I just finished writing a book that answers that question. So, the book has been a test, in fact, a series of tests, but we finally reached the point where we're ready to publish it. I even brought the semi-final proof, just so you know I wasn't kidding. And it's now titled Coming Full Circle, The Secret of the Singularity. So it's about this global situation, and it's written to help people deal with the impossible conflicts and oppressions and tyrannies and collapse of the system and the loss of freedom and the loss of health and all of the threats that people face. And to be able to find the solution through spiritual empowerment and to understand that all of this is perfect. You see, there are some people who are seeing this only through the lens of good and evil, and that, oh, these people are violating the Nuremberg Code and all of that. And while that makes sense at the level of the ego, there's a higher level that we must understand why this is happening. And if you try to approach it just at that level and try to beat it by anger and political action rather than the action of becoming super normal in your level of consciousness so that a higher vibrational frequency can take over the noetic field, you're not going to make it, because it's the very ego consciousness that has caused the situation to happen. And so it can't be solved even at the level of a righteous ego. It has to be solved at a higher level. But the whole course of history that has led to this, the nature of the structure of the social order as a macrocosm of the ego structure, and of each level of this fractally organized universe is coordinated and are all acting simultaneously and synchronously. And so if we are going to resolve this in the optimal way, then we have to understand it from the level of consciousness from which this situation has emanated and is approaching its climactic moment, and what is the intention of that highest power for us to be able to respond to this situation and to use it to attain the highest intentions of that consciousness that's putting us through this test. And so it's going to require tremendous growth, tremendous sacrifice, tremendous letting go of everything we took for granted and were attached to and felt we had a right to, and all of those things, in order to become very humble and live in naked awareness, in total presence, because we don't even know if we'll be alive tomorrow. We have no ground to stand on, and everyone is being put into that position. We have no idea if the earth is going to shake tomorrow and the whole city is going to collapse. Those things are happening. Every kind of disaster. And so if we understand the perfection of this and how it is forcing us to return to God consciousness, then we will be able to pass through the eye of the needle without being harmed, and with realizing that all of this was a training for reaching that level of consciousness that is able to dream new worlds into being and to sustain them so that evil does not occur, and so that the kinds of situations we're facing do not erupt and destroy the happiness of the beings who inhabit that plane. But we have fallen to too low a level to be able to sustain this plane of consciousness. And so it's cracking apart, just as every ego is cracking up and collapsing. And it requires reaching that level of total unified consciousness as the supreme self that encompasses and pervades all that is, in order to be able to resolve and bring unity and a rebirth and restoration of goodness in our world. And that's the test of the human spirit. And those who are warriors and who are willing to serve God they will do the impossible and reach that level of the angelic order and be able to function, even if they are without a body.
We are delighted to announce that Shunyamurti's thrilling new book, Coming Full Circle, The Secret of the Singularity, will be available on Saturday, September the 11th. To celebrate this momentous occasion, we invite you to join us for a very special live stream book launch event with Shunyamurti and the Sat Yoga Sangha at 5:30 p.m. Costa Rica time. Namaste.